In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it. We'll do it live.
No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Thank you, Bill, for that wonderful introduction. We're going to make this super quick because it is my anniversary today. Yeah. 3 years that I've been married right now. Pop that. 3 years that I've been married right now. And I haven't cheated, and I don't think I will.
3 years. So 3 years. That's not quite long enough to like forget. Like you can't. Like if you're married for like 10 years, there's a point I think where the wifey doesn't mention anything about it, and then just expects like the surprise. But 3 years, she's probably like, anniversary's coming up.
What's up?
Don't even try and forget about that.
I have dinner reservations literally in 30 minutes. We did the Kajan Johnson. We've only done this one other time with Harper Cox that we dedicated a whole entire episode.
How do we top that? It was such a rad ass.
We have a badass episode in store for you guys. My name is Brian Ruiz, a.k.a. Anniversary Man. To the right of me is Christian Espejo, a.k.a.
El Conquistador.
To the right of him, your mic is not on. To the right of him is Wesley P. Seymour, a.k.a.
Beer Belly Bob.
There it is.
You guys are nailing these ones.
As always, our a.k.a.s fucking suck.
Speak for yourself.
Going to be on the side next time.
I thought mine was great.
We're going to do a commercial, and we are going to jump right into the Cajun episode. Kajan, he corrects me. It's not Rajun Cajun.
He dropped the Rajun.
It's no more, so don't even hit him with that. He'll smack the shit out of you. Seriously. He told us that in privaci. He'll smack you.
He trains, too.
He trains. Shit out of you. Other than that, enjoy this episode. We will not have an outro to this.
Yes, we will. We're going to put a Kajan song.
Oh, yeah, okay. Cool.
Kajan song.
All right, listen to this episode and listen to this interview. Peace. All right. Rocking a 4-fight win streak right now.
Hey.
Fighting UFC Fight Night in Calgary this weekend. We have on the line Donkey Show family, Kajan Johnson, baby.
Hey.
Thanks, guys. How you guys doing?
Man, it's always good to see you, brother.
Awesome. So you're like the hometown hero this time.
Kind of.
Or close enough.
They're the guys that are from this town that are fighting.
Okay.
But I'm kind of like one of the home country men anyway.
Right,
so
right, yeah.
I've had a lot of fights in this city, and I'm from close by, so it's almost hometown.
Nice.
How's the weight cut coming along?
So easy, man. I'm so good at weight
You
cutting.
don't seem to be, like, you see people struggling. You're, like, on Instagram smiling and shit.
Yeah. It's so simple. People complicate the shit. For one, they're, like, walking around way too heavy. They leave it to the last minute. They don't diet down a lot. A lot of people will cut a lot of water weight. I'm not one of those guys. I know the drain that has on your body, like, long term as well as even short term for the fight. Right. So I'm not down. I need all my energy. So I diet really low, and then the cut's simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, simple, easy work.
You always come off very positive in life. How are you feeling right now leading up to this fight?
So good, dude. It feels so amazing. Like, I feel better than I did for the Ray camp. I feel better than I did for the Adriano fight. Like, this is actually the best I've ever felt pre-fight for as far as UFC fights go. I feel phenomenal. I'm so ready and so blessed to be here, man.
Did you have to adjust your training in any way for this upcoming fight?
Yeah, definitely. There's always different things that will happen. Like, I had a bit of an injury, like almost 2 weeks before I signed the fight. So it was maybe like over 3 months out. So I had a bit of a nagging injury that took a while to heal. And because of that, I wasn't able to do a lot of live rounds, a lot of sparring, a lot of rolling for the majority of the beginning of camp. So it was just mainly cardio-based and drilling and just putting all the reps in on the bag and pad work and stuff. And then later on, like 5 weeks, 6 weeks out, I was able to start rolling and start sparring again. So I did most of my live work near to the end. So there's always different things that will come up in camp. You just gotta be able to work around them and not get down on yourself and be like, oh no, poor me, this is happening, I'm gonna lose. You just gotta accept it and figure out a way that you can still win, you know?
How does that work with injuries? Because I've heard almost every fighter's gonna hit some kind of weird, whether it's a nagging injury or something even slightly more serious, and you've got to like fill out paperwork sometimes. And I heard like every fighter's like, no, you never put on the paperwork a busted ankle, or even you just gotta lie. You just lie.
We're all huge liars when it comes to like, you have to, otherwise they won't let you fight.
Right.
Like when I fought Adriano Martins, a week and a half, 2 weeks before that, I blew 2 of my toes sideways.
Oh, wow, dude.
Yeah. So if you listen to Joe Rogan, he's commenting about how I said I was 97.5% healthy, and that was the other 2.5% was my toes. You know, my toes are fucked. He's all hating on me because I'm honest, but whatever. I'm gonna be honest, you know. With them, not with the commission though.
Yeah,
right.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
So you're fighting a pretty experienced Russian in Islam. How do you pronounce his last name?
It's either Makachev or Makachev.
That's what we were going back and forth.
I think the
with.
first one sounds a lot like. I think the sound. The
I got
first one sounds
Makachev.
correct.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Or else he's almost
I think
Irish.
Makachev. I've been saying Makachev, so
That
if
sounds
it's
right.
not, I've been butchering his name, but he's doing it to me too. Apparently, in the interviews, UFC was telling me that he keeps calling me Kajan. Whatever, you know?
This K1.
Whatever. No hate. It's all good.
Yeah.
Everybody mispronounces my name, right? Like for the majority of my life, people have mispronounced my name. Everybody thinks my name's Kajan, right? Because I was dubbed Raging Cajun, which I've actually dropped that nickname. I don't go by Raging.
Oh,
No
I
way.
totally introduced you that way.
Yeah.
So what is it?
No hate, man. It's new. It's a new development. This
Okay.
happened in London. So my actual name pronunciation is Kajan.
Kajan?
Yeah, much more like smooth and cool than Cajun.
I feel it. Hey, so this guy is there any concern? I mean, are we? What's your biggest, concern about fighting him right now?
Biggest concern about fighting this guy is to just get tired, right? So that's why I put in so much work in this camp. I put in a lot more work, a lot more road work, a lot more sprinting, a lot more power endurance, muscle endurance work with Ibi Ali at New Edge. Because if he can tire me out, then that can shut down my movement, which actually you saw happen in the last fight. So that's going to be one of his plans, is to tire me out so that I don't move so much, so that I'm not as fast. And then he'll be able to land more. He'll be able to hold me down. So really, this guy wants to lay on me and blanket me and hit me with short shots and stop me from getting up. And then if I expose my neck or something, he'll jump on a sub as long as he can remain on top. If not, he's happy to win a decision. So we're really anti ground work. Lots of movement. They keep giving me similar opponents, so it's gonna look a lot like my fights with Martins and my fights with Stevie Ray. I'm gonna move a lot. I'm gonna strike. I'm gonna hit and move. I'm gonna use my hands a lot more than I did in my last camp, my last fight. I don't know why my hands just weren't. They didn't feel like they were there for that fight, and I did a lot of work, a lot more boxing for this one. So I'm happy to. I'm excited to get that popping and land that right hand. But I've also got a lot of plans on the ground. Like, it's quite inevitable that this fight will at some point end up in some sort of grip. So I've got a lot of really. I think I've got a lot of intelligent weapons planned for every grip that he likes, and then also from the grips and the entanglements that I like. And I think I understand his grip sequence quite well. I don't think he really understands my grip sequences and my entanglements quite as well. So, really, I don't think this guy can beat me anywhere, to tell you the truth. I don't think he can beat me on the ground, you know. And if you wanna make some money right now,
oh shit!
You got the inside. Here's the inside. Hold on. Here's the inside scoop.
Plus 500 underdog on punch bets. I mean on Bet365. So if you wanna quintuple your money, then go and place a bet on me, because
doing it.
I'm going to get this guy out and
doing it.
Everybody's sleeping still, man. They gotta wake up eventually.
Well, do you?
Maybe 5 is a number. Maybe after the 5th win.
That's what I was just gonna say. That's what I was just gonna say. 5 is the lucky number for you. And I think for anybody else, when it's hard to ignore 4 fights, 5 fights. That's hard to ignore.
Right?
You can't ignore that.
You can't ignore a 5-fight winning streak, and I mean, I'm pretty confident you're gonna win just by hearing this conversation and watching you on social media. It seems like you're very, very confident in this fight. As far as Homeboy, I mean, are we concerned about any heavy punches that might just?
For sure. Of course.
Some Tyson Glebow.
He's got a hard left hand, man.
Yeah.
He's also got a real sneaky left kick. He's got a good sneaky front kick to the face from with his back leg, and he likes to mix that up with his round kick to the head and the body. So that whole left side is super dangerous.
Do you usually watch your opponent?
He doesn't show that kick before he throws it either. It's like it's sneaky. It comes on the inside. It's not like this big wide kick you can see coming real easy. So he's not a slouch. He's really good everywhere, dude. Like AKA is saying he's the most well-rounded guy they've got. You know, he's good off his back. He's got sick triangles and good butterfly guard off his back. He's got great top control. He's got okay ground and pound. That's probably his weakest link is his ground and pound. His left hand is super heavy. His right hook, even his spin-off hook defensively is very good.
Kajan, you're building this guy up too much right now.
He's good.
No, but that means
he's no slouch.
You're getting me nervous for you right now.
This just means that he's super ready. You sound super ready. You look like
done your homework.
You've been studying this guy for a while. Do you usually watch your opponent's couple fights before going in, or you just go in training and just confidence?
No, I watch everything.
Yeah,
bro.
Okay.
I've watched his old shit. I've watched his new shit. I've watched every single fight that he's ever had in UFC. I've probably watched in slow motion at least 6-7 times each fight in slow motion, and then countless times in full speed. I try to imprint every single body motion that he makes on my brain, so that it'll just make me that more sensitive to his motions. It'll be that much easier to pick up his patterns, because striking is all pattern recognition, right? So he doesn't have a very complicated pattern. He fights everybody in a very similar way. His setups, he doesn't even really set up all that much. It's kind of just runs in with shit. But everything is fucking hard because he's strong as fuck, So I'm really prepared, man. I prepared for all of his reactions. I prepared for all of his strengths, all of his weaknesses. My body is prepared to go the distance. Like, my mind is fresh and sharp. Like, there's nothing more that I could ask for at this point. So the rest is just leaving it all up to God, just going in there and being in the moment and enjoying every moment and leaving the expectation up for the gods, because we have no control over that. Really, I don't control the outcome. I control my thoughts and my actions.
Of course.
That's all I actually can control. So I just focus on what I can control, and the rest I just let go. And it leaves me with no stress and makes me perform that much better.
Yeah, you don't look like you're going into a fist fight in a couple of days here.
It shows.
So it definitely shows in there. All right, let's further push this fight prediction and some of this money that we're about to make. How do you win on Saturday?
I can't tell you. Like I say, I let go of expectation. There's so many different ways I can win. I could submit him. I could knock him out. I could win a decision. There's several different things I could knock him out with. There's several different things I could submit him with. It really depends on how he reacts to things. So I can't make a prediction. All the predictions that I've ever made have never come true.
Yeah, and I get that. But can you try really hard to choke him out? Because that's what I'm going to bet on.
Yeah, that's a really good possibility.
I've
been on fire this camp.
I'm going to go with that.
It's been a long time since I've rear naked choked somebody, and I've really worked on that aspect of my game for this camp. I feel like I get to a lot of guys' backs, but I just kind of wrestle them from there. I don't ever jump on with hooks, and that's something that I've been really working on attacking, is to latch onto things more and use my jiu-jitsu, because my jiu-jitsu is very good. Everybody sleeps on my jiu-jitsu because I haven't really shown it in many of my fights. I've shown it in pieces here and there, but it's not like I never jiu-jitsu attack people. It's more like defensive. I use it to make them get off of me, or I use it to defend when people are attacking me really strongly and breaching my distance. So I think it's a very, very big possibility that I do get this guy's back and choke him out, because I tend to get a lot of people's backs. I just haven't jumped on yet.
So, I can't believe I've never asked you this question in the couple of times that we have spoken. But the fight against Adriano, remember when you knocked him out and then we didn't know how?
Yeah.
Like, were you genuinely as surprised as we were?
Definitely.
What? Can you clarify what happened?
Yeah, so I hit him with a kick punch. Okay, so I hit him with a front kick. He caught it, continued to try to breach the distance and punch me with a right hook, and I like spun off on one leg and hit him with this weird like overhand right hook type punch, and it clipped him like behind the ear. If you watch the slow-mo, you can see it clip him and his head kind of shakes and he falls. But I was so in the moment at that point that I didn't even remember throwing that punch. I remember the kick. I didn't remember throwing the punch.
I watched that
just like he fell.
Yeah, I watched that in slow-mo at least 30 times. And
Yeah.
I even got the celebration. At the end, you go like this, and then you spin in a circle. I'm like, that's the best celebration ever.
I get that.
Was that improvised, or were you like, you know what I'm going to do? When I knock him out,
No,
spin
I
it
have
on
no
the fucking...
idea
In
what
the
I'm gonna
moment.
do.
In the moment.
I never know what I'm gonna do. I never know how I'm gonna like. I know how I have plans for situations when I fight, but I never know what's gonna happen. I just wing it.
Yeah.
I never know what I'm gonna say on the microphone. I just wing it. I never know what I'm gonna do on a celebration. I just wing it.
Okay,
And if I don't,
That must be so frustrating for your opponent then. Like if you don't even like your game plan is so well rounded that they're like, how are we like? Is he gonna come hot? Is he gonna come with punches, kicks?
Yeah,
But
totally.
but I have a question because you brought this up and I was kind of thinking about it earlier. You said that they've been giving you kind of similar fighters or like similar style fighters.
Yeah.
Do you think that's by design? You think they're doing that for a reason?
I think they're trying to make it as difficult as they can
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
And I think they're trying to give me harder fights with less name value.
Yeah.
And give me people that they think will be. It's easier for them to beat me. They think they're trying to give me tough fights, right?
Okay.
So, a lot of those are southpaws. A lot of people hate fighting southpaws. I think they also give me a lot of guys that nobody else wants to fight. Because I'm like, yeah, I want to fight at this time, at this place. They're like, okay, this is the only guy I got. Take it or leave it. I'm like, done. You know? So I think there's a lot of factors that go into that. But regardless, it works to my favor because I'm great at fighting southpaws.
Totally. I thought the same thing. I just wanted to hear you say it.
Yeah.
You know?
I love fighting southpaws.
Wow.
Although I would really like to fight an orthodox guy as well, because that's one thing about my style that I've created is I have exactly the same weapons on both sides. I can do everything southpaw that I can do orthodox. So no matter what stance you are, it doesn't really change the way I'll behave. There's certain things that I like more. Like I really like my jab from orthodox. I've been doing it for so long from orthodox, and it's only in the last like 4 or 5 years that I've really started to learn to fight southpaw. But I have exactly the same weapons on both sides. There's no weapon I have orthodox that I don't have southpaw. So it doesn't matter which stance you are. I can just employ the exact same game plan.
Are you gonna call someone out when you win?
That was the question I was going to ask.
Are you gonna call someone
You stole
out?
my thunder.
I've heard that a couple times, and dude, everybody does that. Every single fighter either calls somebody out or they say, "I want somebody in the top 15." You know,
But
That's
it
so-
works.
It
a
Yeah.
lot.
Do you feel like that's the only way to kind of get a little bit spotlight?
Nobody. The only way to get one of these fights that you're calling out is to set that shit up. Just you getting on the microphone and calling somebody out, that's only going to work if then that person responds to you on Twitter and is like, yo, fuck you, don't disrespect me. Fuck you, Michael Chiesa.
Chiesa in here.
But yeah, that's the only way that's going to actually work. You can't just get on the microphone, say something, and
So-
then nothing else happens, and then they give you that fight.
How do you set that up? What do you mean when you say you have to set it up? What does that mean? Like what do you do?
You have to create some sort of conflict or drama.
Okay.
Conflict and drama is what's putting asses in seats.
Gotcha.
So if you don't create some sort of conflict and drama and tell some sort of story that the public wants to hear the end of, nobody's going to tune in, so they're not going to book that fight. The only reason they were ready to give me Ally Quinta, which almost happened but didn't just because of logistics
drama.
and time schedules.
Because of the drama that you guys had.
Yeah, it's because he reacted to a music video that I made.
Right.
And then there's a back and forth there. Okay, now there's conflict, now there's drama. People want to see the end of the story, so they'll book the fight. It's going to make money. But if I just say call out some guy and the guy's like, oh, awesome, I would like to fight you, they're not going to make that fight.
Yeah. So just off the top of your head, you win this fight. You don't call anybody out, but who would you have in mind that you'd want to fight?
Anybody in the top 15. Like, really? I don't know, dude. Dana White? How about that?
I always wonder that. Like, if you're walking by, like, do you ever just, like, maybe just walk by him in the hallway? It's like, hey, Dana, hey.
I haven't seen him. He's coming here. This will be the first time that I actually see the guy face to face since I started talking.
Wow.
This might call him out. Call him out. You son of a bitch! You took everything I worked for.
My mind ever.
Oh my god, bro. Well, as always, it is always an absolute pleasure. Oh, one more thing before you leave. Can I see the shoes you're wearing?
The shoes I'm wearing.
Oh shit!
Damn. It doesn't look like you're training in those shoes. Those are training shoes.
Air Maxes.
I don't train in those.
I saw it on.
Strictly for the walk around.
I saw him on the Instagram and I was
Nike,
like, damn.
Nike, not Reebok.
Ooh, hashtag shots fired.
Yeah, well, you're gonna pull my sponsorship now.
Yeah, dude. As always, it is always.
They can actually pull your
Yeah, hey, I was actually gonna say that they actually can pull your sponsorship.
How?
Yeah, they can. They can take away your sponsorship. It's not even a sponsorship anymore. It's just, I forget the terminology they use, but it's just money that they give you for acting right on Fight Week, pretty much is what it is now. So as long as, if you're involved in any type of violent act, any type of altercation, any
they'll take that
racist type or sexist behavior or words that you say, they will pull that. That $5,000 or $3,500 that you're going to get or whatever, you're not getting that anymore. And you still got to wear Reebok.
And you still have to wear it.
We're gonna roll in there with all Nikes, bitch.
Hell yeah.
we're rolling in there with a Nike tracksuit hard, dude. Bro, if anyone would do that, he would.
Yeah. Totally. Can you do that? Can you come out with a Nike jumpsuit?
I need that money, unfortunately. I need that money.
That's true.
Bro.
I do need that money. So,
dude.
Yeah, they don't pay me enough that I can
would
do
they
that and not feel the hit, you know?
Would they fire you altogether?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite possible. Like, I would imagine that if I lose once, that I'll be gone.
Yeah.
And they'll try to make it like I never existed.
It's so crazy that it's not even a secret.
The UFC mafia, bro.
Yeah. Well, look at what happened with Leslie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. How's that lawsuit? How's her lawsuit going right now?
It's going good. They're just delaying right now. They went over the NLRB Pittsburgh's head, and they went to DC, and now DC is going to advise Pittsburgh on whether or not they should continue with the charges, and really it's just a delaying tactic. Like, the facts speak for themselves, and DC will be able to see that as soon as the hearing happens.
Man, I big up to Leslie Smith, man. She's she was a sacrificial lamb in the fight for fighter pay. So I mean, big ups to her. Also, shout out to our man Raging Kajan Johnson. Hopefully he
changed.
Oh shit!
He changed it.
I'm so used to that. Hey, I wonder. I wonder if like Diddy, when he changed his name, and like if he's like, no, bitch, it's fucking. I changed it to Pimp Puff Daddy now.
No, but I didn't go and switch the nickname. I just dropped it. And if another name comes along that sticks, then so be it. But so far, it's just Kajan Johnson.
You should put a couple words. You know, like Childish Gambino, how he did his. You know, like he just put a couple words together, or like a
random word.
To just shut out a rapper name, and that's what came out.
Yeah.
What do you go by? You do rap. You rap as well.
Yeah, I do rap. Check out the music video "Hustle Makes Muscle" on YouTube. As also on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, every platform.
We're gonna. You know what? We're gonna play as the outro to this interview. We're gonna play that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Great idea. That is awesome.
My rap name is just my first name, Kajan. That's it.
Yeah, you know what? It's not like my rap name would be Brian.
Stop it.
I mean,
Stop it, Brian.
I don't have anything.
You have a cool ass.
Because nobody does that. It's original.
Actually,
You could just be Brian.
Yeah, what's your rap name? It's Brian with a Y, bitch.
Yeah. Eat your heart out, Madonna.
Okay.
Is her real name Madonna?
Brian. Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
Brian with a Y.
You know what? I need to start rapping first, and then maybe I'll put that in there.
Baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. But as always, the interview is always great, and we always are super pumped to have you on the show. Thank you so much for doing the show again. I know you are pressed with time doing all this media, sir. I'll let you get back. Hey, how are the Calgary chicks out there?
Oh yeah.
Actually seem to be coming out at night. Like we were just saying, me and my friend, that they're actually coming out at night. Like,
Hey.
when I was walking around before, I didn't see no girls, and then I just went and saw like 20 girls.
Hey, do you do that no sex before fights type shit?
Yeah, pretty much. Just because I'm not in a relationship. Like, I think if you're in a loving relationship and you're having sex with your partner, then I think that's really healthy. But if you're just like out there fucking whatever, then that's a whole nother.
Are you as a victory? Are you out there fucking whatever after you win?
I'm not really the fucking whatever type of person. I think sex is actually really powerful, and exchanging that kind of energy with just anyone is kind of fucking crazy. No, it's not really my steez.
Hey, what about
if I find a really hot, cool chick?
Then it's on.
Hey, what about your DMs? Are they popping?
Hey,
What's
how
going
those
on?
DMs going?
What's up with those
Yeah,
girls? They hitting you up?
DMs spike around fight time for sure,
Oh.
but
Okay.
like it's not crazy. Just because I don't put that type of image out to the world,
okay.
I think if I was more of a douche on social media, I would get a lot more like chicken heads like throwing shit at me. But it's not really like that.
I feel you. Well, I'm gonna try to end this interview again. We keep coming up with new questions. All right.
Right?
Thank you so much,
My pleasure.
Kajan Johnson. Good luck, Kajan Johnson. Sorry, Kajan Johnson.
Yeah, it's all good. Don't
Hey, I'm gonna thank you in advance for that money that you're gonna make me,
Yes.
no problem.
Really, brother.
Totally
Good
do
luck
that.
on Saturday. We look forward
Thank you.
on you getting the W. Ladies and gentlemen, Kajan Johnson.
Yeah.
Raging don't play no fucking games, yeah, nah.